Hello, my love. I hope that this finds you well. I hope that you enjoyed your day yesterday. I hope you are looking forward to the day that you have in front of you. I hope that you will see friends or make contact with friends today. I hope that your relationships are meaningful. I was thinking about learning and how important learning was to me. And I felt very much that if I were not learning, I was in sort of a state of stasis. And in certain regards, I have equated in my mind stasis with death, which is, I've learned, not quite the thing, but that there is this idea that if I'm not learning, if I weren't learning, I wasn't going anywhere. And if you're not learning, if you're not actively trying to learn either from your own mistakes or about the world around you or how to improve your behavior or even just something that interests you, I always felt that, well, especially when it comes to behavior, if you're not learning and trying to improve, then either you don't care or you've achieved perfection. And perfection is unattainable, so it's most certainly not that. And it might be that you don't care, but by that I mean different from just being tired and taking a rest from learning and the constant pursuit of information and knowledge. By don't care, I mean totally giving up on the project, so to speak. And that begged the question as to why, for me, why would one not care? And the only reason I could come up with was because one was not doing well. That to not care about learning or improving oneself was a sign that things weren't quite going as well as they should. And so it was important to me to always be learning and to be aware of when I wasn't learning. But all of that aside, I was wrong in thinking that one always had to be learning. And that if one wasn't learning, one was, didn't care or in a state of stasis, because there is another way of being, and that is to simply be present. And there is so much value in that. And so what I ended up finding a balance, I think, or I hope, or I tried, was between my desire to learn and improve. Because if I weren't improving, then I must be satisfied with everything, and I could not look at the world around me and be satisfied with it. But to also let go and just be present. And that well, it's hard to compare the two. But the value of being present cannot be overstated. So I encourage you to not be complacent and to not give up. And whether it is something about yourself or the world around you, but to investigate and learn and discover and explore. Those were the most fulfilling times in my life, when I was learning something new. And so I encourage you to take a bite of that apple. You may not like it. It may not be your cup of tea. And there could be numerous holes in the thought process I have put forth. Lord knows. But it's worth considering, pursuing knowledge, whether it's on a small scale or a large scale, whether it's universal or minute. So I will leave it at that, but I wish you well. I hope you go forth with goodness. I hope you learn something today. And if you haven't yet, you could learn to listen to the music of Ezra Furman and see if that is your cup of tea or not. All of these obviously are optional. Everything just about is optional at the end of the day. So with that, I will bid you adieu.